It was the end of the summer movie season of 1999. Everything that we thought was going to be big had come out. We had already seen The Phantom Menace. We had already seen The Mummy. We've already seen The Matrix, which was one of the most culturally phenomenal movies of all time. So we thought it was over. But no. A movie that became so culturally relevant, that became such a big phenomenon, that became such a big meme, decided it was going to release on this day 20 years ago. And it became popular with this sentence.
I see dead people.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Movie Emporium's Flashback Reviews, where we take movies from our past, break them down, and tell you what we think about them. If you like what you see, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification button at the top, and comment below on any of these videos. So, from that intro, you can tell what I'm going to talk about. This is a movie that was so under the radar that nobody saw it coming. The director had done one other movie prior, I think it was called White America, and this movie just completely changed the landscape of what horror was, coming from an era of horror that was just kind of on the down low and just not very good. And this movie changed everything. Like The Matrix, this movie is revolutionary for what it did, how it brought people into the mainstream, and for its, of course, twist, which is, you know what it is, and I'll talk about it in just a second. And of course, that movie is M. Night Shyamalan's The Sixth Sense, which now is officially 20 years old. Once again, we're going to the well of 20-year-old movies like South Park, Bigger, Longer, Uncut, and The Matrix. And that's a crazy thing to talk about because this is a movie that had like no following. Nobody really knew about it. It kind of came from out of nowhere and became this phenomenon of a movie that made like $300 million in the States and however much money in the overseas. But it became this like water cooler moment where people were talking about that ending, and the ending was just insane to think about because you didn't see it coming unless you saw the signs, which most people didn't. I didn't see it. I didn't know what was happening. But the incredible thing is, this movie took place before the real boom of the internet. Yes, the internet had been around, movie review sites and all that stuff had been around, but because of this twist, it's very hard to, in this day and age, keep that twist a secret. And the fact that I saw this movie like 3 weeks after the movie released and I still didn't know the ending is pretty incredible if you think about it. But this is a movie that has a very fantastic cast, very small cast, but a well done cast in general. And of course, Bruce Willis is in this. He's in the middle of his kind of resurgence of like, movies he had done in like the early 90s weren't very good, but he had done Pulp Fiction and so on and so forth. This had Toni Collette, who has always been a fantastic actress, but she never really had her American due. And of course, she got an Oscar nomination for this role because she is fantastic in this movie. This also had Olivia Williams, who is Bruce Willis's wife, and she also is really good in this movie. She has to deal with a lot of traumatic issues. It seems like when you're watching the movie that the couple, Bruce Willis and Olivia Williams, are having issues, and then you find out the twist and you find out why. And then of course it has Donnie Wahlberg, who is kind of like the catalyst for this movie starting, because Bruce Willis is Malcolm Crowe, and Malcolm Crowe is a well-known child psychologist, and he has won an award for all the things he has done to help children. And one of his child people is played by Donnie Wahlberg, who is now grown up, because of all things that Bruce Willis has done. But he has had a traumatic past. He looks like he's been on drugs. He's very skinny. This is like a crazy looking Donnie Wahlberg, because you've seen him later. He's like almost unrecognizable. And he basically shoots Malcolm Crowe. And then we get our story about how Bruce Willis goes on, like, kind of like subsides himself, and he finds this young kid after doing some research who's played by Haley Joel Osment. And Haley Joel Osment is this reluctant kid. He's very reclusive. He doesn't have any friends. The people that his mom, who's played by Toni Collette, try to hook him up with, they're just kind of there to like make sure that he is getting to school all right, but nobody's really his friend. People think he's weird because he has a secret that people don't understand. And this is a role that any child could have taken and kind of completely ruined. But somehow M. Night Shyamalan did the impossible, and he made one of the most famous child characters come to life with Haley Joel Osment. Haley Joel Osment deserved the Oscar nomination that he got because he's so good in this role of just a kid that just is misunderstood and the secret that he has. And it's just impeccable. The dynamic between Bruce Willis and Haley Joel Osment is a miracle in the making. It's beautiful. It's hypnotic. And it's just, you see each other kind of bring each other out of their shell or their downtrodden life that, you know, Bruce Willis and Haley Joel Osment have, and they find a way to like help each other, to cope with each other. You know, Haley Joel Osment kind of makes Bruce Willis see himself of who he used to be, and it's just beautiful to watch. It's beautiful to watch like the moments when they're together and they just have quietness and talkativeness, and it's just stuff is just so meticulously put together with those two characters. It's just beautiful to watch. And, you know, I mean, this movie isn't without its horror elements. You know, there's scenes where, you know, for instance, Haley Joel Osment is plagued by his secret, and, well, his secret is he sees ghosts, which is not really talked about. I mean, it's talked about, but it's not really explained exactly what it is. But he sees this young girl who him and Bruce Willis help find out that the mother had been poisoning her. And then there's the whole thing where he sees this woman inside of his apartment, and he goes, and that's when he finds a little girl and so on and so forth. But that stuff is kind of arbitrary because you're focused on what Cole, who is played by Haley Joel Osment, and what Malcolm have to deal with. And this is what more the story is dealing with, is just their inner issues. And the Ghost Society is just a really cool effect of just having scary moments and having kind of cathartic moments and stuff like that. I mean, if you look at like Bruce Willis's character, after he's been shot, he and his wife just don't get along. You know, they're on their anniversary. They seem to not want to talk to each other. Bruce Willis is trying to talk to his wife, but he can't get anything. He can't get her to respond. And it's just the same thing all over again. And then he witnesses his wife go out with another man, so he thinks she's cheating on him. But he doesn't know why this is happening. You don't really get a sense of why they're why everything's such a problem, outside of just his probably like caving in on himself and whatnot. But like I said, you know, when you go to the other side of the story and you see Cole trying to deal with his inner problems, you know, his mother, Toni Collette, is trying to help him by trying to give him friends. But like I said, his friends think he's all weird and whatnot. And when certain things start to happen with Cole, you know, when they're in the, you know, for instance, when Toni Collette goes and walks away to get Cole something out of the dryer, like his tie or something like that, and she comes back, and everything's like misarranged and stuff like that. It's just, that kind of stuff really shows you how good Toni Collette is as playing the mother of Cole's character. And it's just, those scenes are so beautiful because you really feel her struggle to try to help him. And it's just amazing to watch her character, and it's just amazing to watch her struggle. And it's just, Toni Collette is just a special kind of actress, and she does such a beautiful job here, is just trying to understand why her son is acting the way he does. And she does everything in her power. She's very protective of her son. You know, there's an incident where Cole goes to a birthday party. He hears a ghost up in the attic space or whatever. He goes in there, and one of the kids, who kind of acts like his friend but really isn't, locks him in there. And he comes home and she sees scratches on him, so she automatically thinks it's one of the kids. She calls on the phone, and she lets the mother have it, and so on and so forth. It's beautiful to see her so just not knowing what to do. It's just a perfect character. But, you know, before I get into the twist ending, because I want to leave it to the end, this is also just a magnificent directorial performance from M. Night Shyamalan. It's such a shame to see what kind of really happened to him later on, after like kind of like Signs, because I will rewatch Signs and it's not as great as I remember it. But he really delved into the psychology of human beings and the idea of what happens after traumatic incidences. And he also delves into like just a meta mind of a human. And that's what this movie's more about than it is about the ghost. It's about the mind of a psychologist who's trying to find his way into his own mind as well as into the mind of the kid that he's trying to help. And it's just perfectly structured. There are things and ideas running around in this movie. There's hints to what the original, or what the twist is going to be. You see the color red all over the place. You see things, there's way things are shot, the way things are edited. It never really feels like, you can kind of, like, when the pieces start falling together, it's just almost impossible to understand why Malcolm Crowe is in certain places, but how does he get there? For instance, you can't seem to unlock the basement door, but some reason he's down in the basement during a scene. You're so confused and you're so disoriented about what's happening that you're just kind of like, how's this happening? How is this working? How is he also in the basement? How come his wife and him don't talk? How come it's like a one-sided conversation? How come, he just doesn't seem like when he goes to Cole's apartment, you never see Toni Collette's character and Bruce Willis's character really interact outside that one scene where they're sitting in the chairs. And there's so many cool little setups and Easter eggs and moments. It's just the pieces when they start falling together. It's pretty brilliant when you think about it. And then you get the final twist. Cole ends up in the hospital. He's in a bed. Malcolm Crowe's character talks to him, and you come to find out that Cole has always seen dead people, but they don't know they're dead. Sometimes they don't know what's happening. And you've come to the conclusion that Malcolm Crowe has been dead the whole time, and you finally figured out by the fact that his ring that he has always had drops on the ground, but his wife is holding the ring. And another thing happens where, when ghosts get angry, it gets really cold, which is really another cool Easter egg or moment in the movie where things get cold when there's ghosts around. So there's this wallop of an ending where you find out not only not survive the shooting, but he has to be kind of let in on the fact that not only is he dead, but he has to forgive his wife. He has to forgive himself. And Cole helps him do that. And it's just, it's such a brilliant moment. It's just such an amazing moment. And it's such a cathartic moment for Bruce Willis's character, because everything he has done to help people has come back to help him for everything that he has done. Not only has he helped Cole, but he has helped himself to kind of move on to another world, another dimension, whatever you think of it as. And there you go. I mean, it's a great twist. It's a powerful twist, and it's a beautiful moment for a character that needed that moment. And when you see it finally play out, what exactly happened at the beginning of the film, because everything that happens to him happens at the beginning of the film. It's a amazing moment of just pure genius stroke of filmmaking that, that's why M. Night Shyamalan was put up on the pedestal he was, and too bad he kind of ruined it for himself. But that is The Sixth Sense. That is The Sixth Sense in a nutshell. It's a beautiful movie. It's a powerful movie, and it's got some great award-winning performances. But also James Newton Howard's score is amazing as well. So I'll leave it at that. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. That's my take on The Sixth Sense. Happy 20th anniversary. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button at the top, and comment below on this video. Tell me what you think of The Sixth Sense. Tell me what you think of the ending. It's been 20 years, so you can talk about it now. So, but anyways, we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for checking out Movie Emporium. I really appreciate it. If you want to, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification button and the bell at the top. Find out what's coming next for Movie Emporium. Also, check out these 2 videos. They're amazing. I think they're awesome. I think you'll enjoy them too. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.